Hey friends, in this video I'm going to show you how I built this super rad pottery sink. So friends, welcome to my studio. I am in the process of building this into absolutely my dream clay space. In my last video I showed you how I built this cart for my slab roller, and it not only holds my slab roller really perfectly, but it also has these huge drawers for storing all kinds of pottery tools, and it has been a game changer. But next up is tackling another very important thing in a pottery studio, and that is the sink. So what I have now is just an old workbench that I cut a hole in and dropped a sink into, but there's a couple reasons why this is not a very good setup. And namely, as you can see here, is that it is very low. And so in ceramics, you're washing stuff a lot, and having a very low sink is definitely going to hurt your back. I have an overall vision for what I want this corner to look like, and it's kind of like this with a lot of storage. This is the mess I have right now, but that's long term. Right now, I'm just focused on this section right here in the middle, which is where I'm going to build more of like a piece of furniture, table to hold the sink, and then the cabinet that'll be on the right hand side. So for the table portion of this that's going to hold the sink, for the legs, I'm just using this stock poplar that I picked up at Lowe's, and it is fantastic because I don't have to mill anything down. It's just kind of like the perfect dimensional boards for this purpose. Just like I've done in my last builds, I'm using the Festival Domino to do the joinery. It's just such an easy, fantastic way to build, so it's my favorite tool. Little glue, some dominoes, and a lot of clamps, and the sink portion is starting to take shape.
Well, I'm realizing I put this piece in upside down and it's all glued up, and you know what? It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Where I'm gonna have this, you're never gonna see it. It's not like a freestanding piece of furniture. I just think it's kind of funny. I thought I had it planned out so well.
So yeah, here you can see those two rails should have been level with each other. Get this puppy out of clamps and get on to the next stage. All right, and got to give all these joints a good sanding to clean up any glue squeeze out and just to make sure they're super flush and super clean. And next up, I'm getting all of the pieces cut to start on the cabinet side of the sink. And so this involves breaking down a good sized sheet of plywood, and I do that on my track saw. Now I generally just break things down to kind of a rough dimension on the track saw, and then I come back and clean everything up and get a perfect cut to the exact dimensions over on the table saw. Before I do all the dominoes to assemble the cabinet, I do a quick test here just on this one corner, A, to make sure I have my settings right, and B, to make sure I remember how to do this correctly. So there it is. It's a lot of work, really, building cabinets, but I've got to say it's kind of one of my favorite things to do because it's kind of like instant gratification. So it's really quick once you get things broken down and stuff and um, start to assemble them and glued up to actually see something, see some reward for all of the hard work. I'm really super grateful that I remembered to drill out the shelf pin holes before I assembled everything, before I glued it up. I've definitely made that mistake in the past. It's a lot harder to get these pins in or get the holes in for the shelf pins after it's been assembled. Now, because the top of this cabinet is going to be the same countertop as the sink, I don't need to have a full sheet of plywood on the top, so I'm just using these stretchers with some pocket holes to just keep the structure of the cabinet at this point. Unfortunately, I forgot to do the edge banding on these pieces of plywood before I did the glue up. It is so much easier to put edge banding on before your cabinet's assembled, but I forgot, and so I'm doing it after the fact, which isn't the worst thing. It's just, it's not as clean. And I got everything brought downstairs to start getting a coat of paint on it. Everything in my studio I want to be easy to wipe down and to clean off because clay tends to get everywhere. And so having a good cabinet finish on everything is really important to me. And here it is. After that first round of painting, you get to finally see how it's going to look, and it gets really exciting. While I set all of those aside to dry, it's time to start disassembling the sink that I have in place now. And I'm not a plumber, but I definitely know having buckets available is very helpful. Now, this was not a very well built table. I definitely slapped this together before I really learned anything about woodworking, so I have no problem taking this apart, and I don't really think any of it's going to be salvageable in any way, so it is just getting broken down and taken up for the landfill. So I definitely strategically placed kind of the aspects of this cabinet table based on where I had this plumbing, and I didn't want to have to adjust or move the plumbing because I'm really not that good at it. So I actually built the table to fit around it because I can do that. And I definitely built just a very quick 2x4 toe kick for the cabinet side to sit on. but look at how level everything came out. I barely had to shim at all. It was awesome. For the top, I just bought this pre-made butcher block countertop from Home Depot, and uh, this is a very, I don't know, precarious thing for me to cut a hole into that. A, because it was, not cheap and I don't want to mess it up, but B, I do a lot of like plunge cutting, and I definitely want to be safe, and so it took me a little while, but it actually worked really, really well. I was very careful with the track saw not to cut all the way to the line, and so that just meant I needed to come back with my jigsaw and clean up these corners. And I'm very nervous doing this as well because at some point it's going to start to fall through, and I don't want the board to pinch the blade and kick back. And but all in all, this actually went really, really well. And this is the moment of truth. I actually carried that sink all the way up from downstairs just to make sure this would fit. And oh, watch the fingers. Oh, yay! Of course, this is all going to get sanded really, really well, and a coat of finish. I'm using Halcyon Clear from Total Boat. I've used that on a couple of the projects, and I think it's working great so far, so I'm going to keep using it. I did make a terrible mistake, though, and I installed this and forgot to actually apply any finish on the bottom, so I'm like debating taking it apart now and doing that. But I also cut these side panels for the sink side, which you can see here. I didn't show putting it on, but I definitely added the sides so that I can hang stuff on the inside of that cabinet, um, just for more functionality and to keep it all clean. So now moving on to the right cabinet component, I missed filming actually creating the drawer and getting the doors made, but here you can see getting them installed. Funny story though, once I got the cabinet doors installed and hung, I was looking at them, and then I realized I didn't actually put the cabinet paint on them. I had just primed them, and I was like, these are not the right color. What did I do wrong? So I just needed to take them off and get an actual coat of cabinet paint put on them. And here she is after getting the painting done. I got just some hardware installed. There's the drawer, and this is just absolutely the perfect clay washing station. Now, I intentionally built this without a bottom on the sink side so that I can install a clay trap and easily roll buckets in and out. And so I just put a curtain on to kind of hide that, but that's why that's like that. I also incorporated this towel rod on the front that you can see here just because I thought that'd be a convenient place to just hang towels. All right, friends, well, there she is. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and following along through this build. It's been super fun to take you along. I'm definitely looking forward to making more videos, so hope you enjoy. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.